Hello everyone, welcome to the Today is the Day video hop with Altenew. I'm Bridget Casey with Bridget Casey Designs, and here's a peek at the project we're going to make today. We are using the Climbing Leaves stamp set from the Today is the Day release. I'm leaving it on its carrier sheet and I'm just inking it up with some pure graphite ink. We are going to ink up everything, sentiments and stamp, and we're going to use a piece of Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock. I am lightly going over the image and making sure that I get it all, and you will see even the sentiments came out great. So this is a great method. If you don't want to peel your stamp off, you just want to leave it on the backer, you're all set. It's a great way to do it. So I'm trimming down because I just want the actual stamped image, the leaves. And we're going to do something we don't do very often on this channel. We are going to measure. So we're at 5.5 by 6. Most times, and I even slowed it down so you guys could see it, most times we kind of wing it here. That's how I kind of craft and how I go with the flow. But we actually measured today. So we're going to go ahead and I taped off the top 3 inches. We're going to use the Rainbow Prism ink set. So Ruby Red, Orange Cream, and Warm Sunshine are the colors that we're going to use. I am using a small blending tool. I keep one for each of the color families. So, one for red, orange, yellow, blue, those types. So I peeled off my tape, making sure to peel it back on itself, and then I can reuse it. I did also wipe it off. You saw me wipe it off with a cloth to make sure I don't have any ink transfer that I don't want. So we're going to use Parrot, Lagoon, and Deep Iris on this side. And these as well. Rainbow Prism is a 6 ink set, which are all these 6 inks. So I'm peeling back my tape again. I'm going to use the Iridescent spray from Altenew, and I'm just splattering it on there just to give it a little extra interest. So we will use a kitchen towel. I'll place it over there just to soak up some of it. It doesn't look like it makes that much of a difference, but in real life, it really adds something. And especially once we trim it down, you can kind of see it more on some of the panels. So I was doing math here, which, oh goodness. So because we're at 5.25, or 5.5, I'm sorry, we would want it to be at 2 3/4 about. So they weren't perfectly cut down. So they're about 2 3/4 by 3 for our little rainbow panels. So I'm now taking the Curving Leaves 3D embossing folder, and I'm going ahead and I'm embossing the white cardstock. I am spraying it first with some water just to try to prevent some cracking because it is a thicker cardstock. Then we're going to go ahead, and I decided I really wanted to clear heat emboss my sentiments just for that extra special touch. So I chose Be a Light to Others. I'm using my Obsidian Pigment Ink, and I will stamp out what I need and a couple extras just in case. Put some clear embossing powder on that. I will heat set that, and then I am just shaking that to make sure it's nice and cool so when I go to trim it. And then I realized that trimmer really wasn't going to help me as much as I thought it was. So I brought out my trimmer that has that kind of thread that shows me where it's going to cut. I like that, especially when I'm using sentiments, so I can get the best go. I'm also going to bring in my die pick tool just so I can kind of fidget with it, because my die pick tool can fit in places my fingers and my fingernail really can't fit in. So I gave up on the tape at this point, and I'm just kind of trimming it out using my die pick tool. So hopefully that's a resource for you in the future. If you have a similar situation where you kind of need to wiggle something around, your die pick tool is a very good resource, or some tweezers. Now I'm going to go ahead and on the back of our rainbow panels, I'm going to trim down some foam tape. And in all honesty, I am a foam tape-aholic. I admit it. I am Bridget Casey. I love foam tape. So 26 plus years ago, I had a card panel dip in the center, and I said never again. And ever since, I have been in love with the foam tape. But I will be honest and say that even though I love my foam tape, I am still on my first roll. You can see I kind of pops in and out of the frame, but I still have a good portion on there. So when you get this foam tape from Altenew, it is super duper large and in charge. It is a big fella, as I like to say. Now that we've got that on there, I'm going to put that panel down onto my emboss panel. And then I thought, well, maybe I should put my sentiment strip up there, centered. And then I thought, no, I want to put it below and kind of center it between the edges of the rainbow panel, and make sure to put some, of course, more foam tape on there so that I could pop that up. I liked the look of it being on equal footing. So the rainbow piece is so bright, so beautiful, and I wanted that sentiment not to get lost, and I wanted it to kind of hang out and be just as important as that bright, beautiful piece that we're putting on there. Now, if you wanted to, you could alternate. So I put with all my reds at the top down to the yellow. You could put one with the red at the top, one with the red at the bottom, and mix them up. If you were going to do this as a gift card set, that would be a great way to do it. And these cards will be perfect as a gift card set, but also super perfect on their own. So I hope you guys will take a look at your stash and see what kind of inks you could use, and just create a beautiful, simple background with a background stamp and embrace and go with it. So I'm going to sneak all these cards in here for one last look. I can't wait to see what you guys create with the amazing products from the Today is the Day release. Until next time, stay safe and happy crafting.